Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Yadang, the Snitch, a Korean crime drama from 2025. Lee Kang-soo, played by Kang Ha-neul, profits by providing drug intel to the prosecution, while his partner, ambitious prosecutor Goo Gwan-hee, played by Yoo Hae-jin, gains career success from these arrests. Kang-soo's life changed when he was tricked into consuming a drug-laced drink and unjustly jailed, but Goo recognizes his sharp memory and recruits him to befriend an imprisoned head of a drug trafficking ring. Their partnership flourishes, and Kang-soo becomes a Yadang, defined as an informant or undercover operative, while Goo rises through the ranks of the prosecutors. Now we get some characterization of our main protagonist during the opening moments. At first, this Kang guy is portrayed as very ambitious and driven, which is good. However, he's also like a hotshot, with a bit of an attitude. And at one point, he has an opportunity to stop some suspects who are fleeing authorities. And he's successful at doing so, but he goes a bit overboard by crashing his vehicle into the bad guy's car like one too many times, I felt, even after the car was disabled. So, he easily could have killed these people, but, he's not like a loose cannon, but he just has a bit of an edge to him. In any case, he gets set up in the most simplistic way possible. He consumes a drink that was spiked and, is found with evidence that was planted in his immediate location. Not a complicated scheme at all, but it is successful, and it's enough to completely tank his professional career and land him in jail temporarily. And then, but now he's an informant, and he's doing okay. He does keep his hotshot attitude throughout much of the film. Maybe less so near the end, though. And he makes some very aggressive plays when he's undercover to set up some criminal associates for the purposes of assisting this prosecutor. And they make a good team. They're effective, but they could cause some problems for them down the stretch. And like many Korean movies nowadays, Yadang the Snitch has a sense of familiarity to it, at least in terms of plot and style. The story itself, it's not like super memorable or super creative, which does limit it to a degree. This is essentially a basic gangster flick or undercover informant flick, and it has some simplistic characterization, but the pacing does help here. The script sets everything up quickly. There's not that many dead spots that get boring, and you're not entirely sure who the main bad guy is going to be, especially during Act 1, because they're kind of like, both our protagonists are just kind of like doing their thing. But when the main bad guys emerge, they are pretty ruthless, and they do some bad things, and it adds some dramatic intensity to the film that I think helped. And by the second half of the film, you want to see these guys get taken down. So it's good. This film has like an engaging conflict, I think, and it's supported by good performances. Not a lot of action in this, or like big-time thrills. There is one effectively scrappy fight scene involving a circular saw that was pretty good. But yeah, this is more of like a drama with a little bit of thrill and action in it. Now, I have to warn you that there is some disturbing imagery involving drug use, and that happens multiple times in the film, as well as some sexual content, but that's mostly just one or two scenes. But that's really all that needs to be said about this one. This is not a great film or anything, but it's moderately entertaining. And if you like Korean gangster movies, you might get something out of this. So I would give this a moderate recommendation. I just think its lack of like creativity or character depth does limit it a little bit. But it's currently available streaming on YouTube. And as always, I'll see you next time.